Hello. Let's jump straight into the podcast. So, we were having a discussion in my coaching group, and one of the guys in the program said, or he was talking about how he feels a little bit like creepy for hitting on women, in public and saying, "Hello, you're cute. What's up? Let's talk. Can I get your phone number? Do you want to grab a drink?" And he basically asked the question, does anyone else in the group feel creepy when they hit on women or when they talk to girls they don't know? And a bunch of guys jumped in, and one of the women in the group jumped in as well and said, it can feel a little weird to talk to people that you don't know. It's something that most human beings don't know, regardless of if we're talking about in a romantic or a sexual context or just like even friends. Most people don't walk up to strangers on the street and be friendly with them. They just don't. And so everybody jumped in and said, it's completely normal to feel like that. And one of the guys said this. He said, I've realized that the reality is that men like to seduce and women like to be seduced. There's no shame in witnessing the beauty and expressing desire. It's what we as men are wired to do. And so here's what I said. I gave my own thoughts, and I'll just read these out, and we can kind of react to them as I read them out. And I think a lot of men really struggle with this, to be clear. Before I start reading, I'll just say it's a very normal thing to be scared. If you're going out to approach women on the street or in a cafe or in a bar or wherever, this isn't something that most human beings do. So it can feel a little bit like you're sort of going down the unbeaten path, but I promise you it's not weird. Once you do it a little bit, you'll see, oh, I'm just talking to other human beings. Literally, I'm just talking to women. All I'm doing is saying hello. I'm asking if she's single, and I'm asking if she wants to do something together. That's not weird, but I get that it feels weird at the start. So I'll read out what I wrote in the coaching group. I said, yes, men want to seduce and women want to be seduced, for the most part. It's a net positive for both people. You get to give her a compliment and hit on her, and she gets to receive a compliment and feel good. Even if she isn't interested, you still gave her a compliment, and everyone loves compliments. Stop thinking that you are taking something from these women and start realizing you are giving them something. And this is a big, I guess, goal of my channel in this community, is to get us in that mindset of how can we give to other human beings. And obviously not everyone wants what you're giving. That's an obvious caveat, but rather than getting money or getting sex or getting laid, I'm even trying in my own life to minimize or reduce how much I use the phrase getting laid, because I don't think it's conducive to the message that I'm trying to put out. And so rather than thinking that we're getting something from other people, what if we give something? Or what if we experience something with them together? What if we have a mutually beneficial experience, whether that's sexual, whether that's financial, whether that's friendship and social, whatever it might be? What if we enjoy the thing together rather than you getting something from the other person? So I'm trying to switch that mindset up in a lot of my content. I'm trying to encourage a lot of you to switch that mindset up in when I put the content out there. So I go on to say, you are giving them a compliment. You are giving them a nice conversation. You are giving them your real, authentic, vulnerable, and honest self, which is incredibly refreshing, by the way. If you walk up to a woman or walk up to women and hit on them in the way that we talk about on this channel, you be very honest, you be very polite. Hey, I thought you were cute. I thought you were attractive. I thought you're pretty, whatever you want to say. I wanted to say hi. You talk for a little bit, you shake their hand, you introduce themselves. Obviously, if they say, I'm not interested or I have a boyfriend, you go, hey, that's sweet. Enjoy the rest of your day. It was really nice to meet you. And you have a little, if she is interested, you have a little conversation. You say, hey, you seem really cool. Or I'm really interested in you. I'd love to grab a drink. What's your phone number? Can I get your phone number? If that's the style that you're doing and there's no manipulation, there's no games, there's no sort of neediness, there's no desperation, there's no pushing, there's no force, that is so unbelievably refreshing. You're giving other people a compliment, a nice conversation. You're being super polite and respectful. If you've worked on yourself or you're continuing to work on yourself, you're also probably reasonably attractive. You're probably well-groomed, all of the things that we talk about. Be well-groomed, have decent style. If you need to lose weight, do that. Go to the gym a little bit. You don't have to be a god. I'm clearly not a god, but look at least slightly above average. Look like you put some effort in. And if you're doing that, you're giving something to other human beings. And the same thing applies to social situations. If you walk up to strangers and just be like, hey, how's your day going? I've said this many times. I've even done a video on this. I talk to everybody when I go outside. I probably talk to like 50 people a day when I go outside. I'm just talking to everybody. I'm smiling at everybody. I'm saying hello to everybody. I'm saying little conversations. I talk to everybody. And that's giving people something. And if they don't want it, they'll make it really clear. And then you just go, hey, that's beautiful. And you go and talk to the next person. So hitting on women isn't this weird thing. You're just talking to people. You're literally just talking to people. People often make it into this big thing. And I did at the start too. I was like, oh, I'm approaching women. I got to go out and do cold approach. No, you're just saying hello to other human beings and seeing if they would like to join you on this journey called life or this experience called living. You're not doing anything strange or weird. You can call it weird and strange, and that's where that creepy feeling comes from, is from telling yourself the lie that this thing is weird. No, reframe it. You're just talking to other human beings. So you're giving them your real, authentic, vulnerable, and honest self. You're also giving them a nice memory of the cute guy that hit on them today. You're giving them the chance to go on a date with you and have a good time. Like all of you listening, I don't think a single one of you, maybe there's a couple of exceptions, but the vast majority of you, if you do go on a date with a woman, and any women listening, if you go on a date with a guy, you're there to have a good time, right? Like you want them to have a good time and you want you to have a good time. I don't think there's very many of you that want to go on a date and give them a shit experience. So that's yet another thing that you're offering them, or you're giving them. You're offering them the chance to have a nice date with you. And there's no guarantees that the date will be amazing. There's no guarantees that you would have sex and it would all be wonderful and you guys would live happily ever after or whatever you're looking for. No, but like you're offering an opportunity to potentially go on a date. That's something of value. That's something quite beautiful and quite remarkable. You're giving them the chance to have some great sex with you if it ends up going to that point, to feel pleasure with you, to orgasm with you, to enjoy your company, to try some kinks, to get to that intimate stage, to get to that level of trust and all of that kind of stuff. You're also giving them the chance to meet a guy who'll be 100% honest and real and not play games with them. And that is something that's not that common. There's probably like 15% of the population that is just honest. And to the level that we talk about in this community, it's probably like 5% of people that can be that deeply honest. Maybe 1%. I don't know. I haven't gone out there, and it's hard to know how much of the population is honest and real when I'm being so honest and real, because they give you that back. So my experience is like 98% of people can be honest and real, but that's because I'm going first. So I hope you understand what I'm trying to say there. But the vast majority haven't experienced the level of honesty and authenticity that we talk about in this community. Well, they've only experienced it little bits and pieces. So you're giving them that. You're giving them a chance to meet someone who's not there to play games. And again, any women listening, you can offer guys the same thing. If you embrace the deep honesty and authenticity and openness and truth that we talk about on this channel, that's something of fucking value. You're also giving them the chance to meet a guy who's into self-improvement, who's ambitious and is going places in life. Yeah, that's a big one. If you're a guy and you walk up to women on the street, if you watch this community, and I'm assuming you probably watch other self-improvement content as well, and you probably read some books, and you're probably working on yourself, that's huge. Women sit there and say one of the traits that women want the most and that they talk about the most is they want a guy who's ambitious. And it doesn't mean that you've achieved massive things, though that's beautiful as well. But it's that you have that ambition, you have that drive, you have that self-love to work on yourself and improve and all of that. So that's a rare gift, and that's something you're offering. You're basically saying, I'm on this train, I'm going somewhere beautiful. Would you like to come along with me? It can be for the whole train ride, it can be for a little bit, it can be just for a couple of stops, and then you can jump off or we can go separate ways. But would you like to come with me for a little bit? That's something amazing. That's something quite rare as well. There are obviously a lot of ambitious people out there, but it's not the majority. And so you're offering that. You're also giving them the chance to meet a guy who'll push them with their own self-improvement, or at the very least just encourage them to go for their own goals. Or you might not even do anything. You might just inspire them by your own goals. Pretty much everyone watching this channel has some sort of goal, right? Otherwise, you'd find my content very boring. All I ever talk about is self-improvement, self-love, goals, ambitions, happiness, peace, joy, spirituality, enlightenment. You'd find this shit very boring. You'd find my channel very fucking boring. This is not entertainment content. This is not like, oh, I'm doom scrolling through YouTube and I just happened to land on Andy and fuck it, I'll watch that. No, this is the opposite. And so with just the fact that you're into that self-improvement, or you're into that self-love, I guess, or self-reflection, mindfulness, whatever you want to call it, that's inspiring to any women that you're going to go on a date with or have sex with or get into a relationship with. That's inspiring as hell. And again, any women listening, the same stuff applies to you. Any guys that you meet, holy crap. Women who are into self-improvement is even more rare. And so if you're even watching this, let alone taking action, that's something that you have to offer. I go on to say you're also giving them the chance to meet a guy who will make them feel good about themselves and compliment them, tell them they're sexy, encourage them, tell them that they're interesting, tell them that they're cool, all of that kind of stuff. You know, on this channel, we talk a lot about honesty. I talk a lot about like praising your partner if you get into a relationship, praising any girls or any guys that you are in a short-term relationship with or casual. We talk a lot about just telling people that you're grateful for them. You know, so the more you express that, that's something huge that you're giving. And if you approach in the way that we talk about on this channel or in this community, if you walk up and say, hi, I thought you were really cute. I wanted to say, hey, and see if you're single. You know, what's up? I'm Andy. Like you just gave them a compliment. You technically gave them two compliments. It's a compliment hitting on people because it's like, hey, I find you attractive enough that I want to come and talk to you. That's nice. That's a nice little bit of validation. Isn't that sweet? And then you literally said, I find you cute, or I thought you were interesting, or I love the way you're dressed, or you're really pretty, or like, I don't know why, but I just had to come and say hi to you because you're just like so attractive. There's two compliments. That's something really nice. You're also giving them the chance to meet a guy who'll be open-minded and non-judgmental, which is quite rare. Again, if you're in this community, you're probably reasonably open-minded. You're probably quite non-judgmental. If you have some judgments, that's fine. Like, don't stress about that. But you're probably a little bit less judgmental than the average, you know what I mean? You're probably more open-minded. You're at least open-minded to some pretty out there concepts. Some of the stuff we talk about on this channel and in this community is pretty out there. Even the idea of self-improvement is already like quite niche, reasonably niche. So I went on to say to this guy, look how much you're giving women by saying hi to them and asking for their phone number. And that's all this is. You know, if the idea of approaching freaks you out a little bit or makes you nervous or scared or any of that, you're not approaching then. Just go and say hi. You're just saying hi to some women. Hello, you're cute. What's up? Oh, you don't want to talk to me? Okay, have a nice day. And then I'm going to go talk to the next person. Hi, what's up? And then she says, not much. What are you up to? Oh, I just thought you were cute and I wanted to come say hi. You're just literally talking. You're just saying hi. You're giving them so much in doing so, and they're giving you so much by talking to you in return. And they might compliment you. They might say yes and give you a phone number. You might go on a date. You might have sex. Who knows? But they're giving you so much as well. Even if they say to you, I'm not interested, I have a boyfriend, go away, which no one's going to be that mean. But if they say, I'm not interested, I have a boyfriend. Hey, that's beautiful. They're giving you a little bit of resilience. They're helping you build up that perseverance, that armor, that feeling of, oh, I just had someone turn me down and I'm okay. Wow, look how strong I am. I'm really resilient. Isn't that beautiful? So they're giving you something even if they say no to you. It's a beautiful two-way street. So it's two human beings coming together and giving value to one another. That's a beautiful thing. And you're sticking the creepy label on it and sullying something that's really at its core quite beautiful. The act of a man walking up to a woman that he doesn't know and saying, hi, I like you. Would you like to talk to me? That's something magical. That's so unbelievably courageous. There's so much value that you give just in that moment alone, let alone the value that you could give after that if she wants to. And she's giving you so much by giving you her time, giving you her attention, and anything else she might give you after that. And again, even if she says, no, fuck off, which I promise that doesn't really ever happen. I think that's happened to me like once ever. But even if she says, no, fuck off, then you go, wow, that really hurt. I'm going to go home and cry. You go home and cry, you pick yourself back up, you go back outside, the next day or a week later, however long it takes you to get over it, and you're just that little bit stronger. So that in itself is she's given you a beautiful gift. And again, I promise you, that won't happen. It's really rare to happen. The only exceptions to that would be if you go clubbing, then yes, women can be a little bit, I will say everyone can be a little bit blunt and emotional when they're drunk and when they're in a clubbing setting. But if we're talking about during the daytime or during the early evening, outside in a normal human setting, you're not going to get told to fuck off. But even if you did, that would be something quite beautiful. And so all of this is two human beings having a nice time together, or at least giving each other the potential opportunity to have a nice time together. Even if they say no, at least you've given them that offer. That is a gift, and you've given that gift to yourself. It is a gift that you're giving to yourself when you walk up to another human being you don't know and you introduce yourself. Again, whether that's for sex, whether that's for dating, whether that's for friendship, whether that's just to fucking say hello, that is a gift that you're giving yourself. You're building your own confidence. You're building your own self-love. You are integrating and facilitating with the rest of the world. You're connecting with other human beings. How is that not a gift? So I said, focus on giving rather than the feeling of, oh my God, I'm being creepy and I'm taking something from the women that I hit on. No, you're giving, or focus on giving. And there's so much you can give. I've already said a bunch of things you can give, but you can even just walk up and smile at someone. That's a gift. Listening to someone, you can say, hey, I thought you're really pretty. What's up? Blah, blah, blah. Tell me about your day. How's your day going? That's giving. You're now listening. That's giving something. You can go on a date and listen to her for a little bit. That's a gift. There's so much that we can give to the opposite sex, or if you're gay or bi or whatever, the same sex, but there's so much we can give to other human beings when we connect with them, especially if we're talking in a romantic or a sexual setting. There is so much giving there. And the label of creepy, as I said before, it's kind of like sullying something that at its core is quite beautiful. The word creepy is it's just not relevant when you focus on giving. And if anyone ever says what you're doing is creepy, hey, that's beautiful. That's just their opinion. That's just the story that they're telling. But I tell the story that serves me and serves the women that I talk to and the other human beings that I talk to. And that story is one of giving. And so when I go outside, I give myself permission to give rather than being afraid and stuck in this fear of taking, or what if I'm creepy, or what if I use someone, or what if I step over the line. No, fuck all that. I'm out there to give. I'm there to give myself and to give other people a good time and a beautiful experience. So focus on what you're trying to give rather than what you're trying to get. I went on and said to him basically the same thing that I just said to you guys. So go out there today and give abundantly, give wholeheartedly, give everything you have to give. Don't hold back. I'll finish up by showing off a little, testimonial. So this was from one of the $200 coaching calls that I do, which any of you can grab, by the way. We'll sit down for an hour or so, as long as we need to. There's no real time limit on it. And we can go over any problems that you have, anything you're struggling with, any goals, whatever the hell you want to talk to me about. I'm there to listen. But this guy did one of those calls with me, and he says, the call with Andy helped in a significant way. I was a little bit stuck in my life, not knowing how to deal with my negative emotions. Andy pointed a few ways that I can work on that, and he shared his experience overcoming the same stuff. But probably the biggest thing from Andy was helping me define my goals. So for the first time in a long time, I have a pretty clear reason to get up in the morning. I highly recommend the call. Yeah, if I remember, he didn't really know what he wanted to work on, and so here's a quick tip for any of you that don't really know what you want to work on, or you're putting all this pressure on yourself of like, I have to know what I want. I have to know, what my mission is or what my purpose is. Usually when you're struggling to think of what your goals are or what you want to work on, it's because you have a lot of shoulds in your head or shouldn'ts in your head. And so you might want something, but there's all these shoulds and shouldn'ts in your head. You're like, oh, I shouldn't do that. That's a shallow goal. That's silly. It's like you're caring what other people think or what you think they might think. And how I usually help people define their goals, and I'll say this to all of you, you can use the same process, is I will say to the person, what do you want? And I will let them sit there for as long as it takes. And for some people, it takes like literally 3 minutes, and we just sit there in silence, and they're like, I don't know. And I just don't say anything. I just sit there and I'm just patient, and I literally don't say anything. And if you struggle to do this yourself, you can go into the bathroom and look into the mirror, look into your own eyes in the mirror and say, what do I want? And you just look into your own eyes and just wait for something. And something will come up, but then a lot of stories often come up of like, I can't do that. That's stupid. That's impossible. That's hopeless. I'll never make it. Other people will judge me for that. Nah, I can't do that. It's too late. I'm too short. I'm too ugly. I'm too fat. I'm too blah, blah, blah. Like all of the shoulds will come up. And you can kind of play this game of saying, okay, imagine I didn't have any of that. Imagine there were no rules. Or imagine I was about to fucking die next week or next year or whatever. This is my last year to live. And all of the shoulds don't matter. I don't give a fuck what anyone else thinks. It doesn't matter what I think is possible or impossible because you don't know shit. If you think a goal is impossible, you really don't know shit. You haven't achieved the goal. How the fuck do you know what it takes to achieve that goal? Anyway, so you take all that stuff aside, put all that stuff aside, and you say, okay, if it doesn't matter, if there are no rules and it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, do I want this goal, or what goal do I want? And something always comes up. I've never found an exception to that. And I've even with some clients, like I said, I've sat there for minutes. I've had some clients that take several days or weeks. And I say, that's fine. Just go away and just keep asking yourself that question of what do I want? If you still struggle to answer that question, you can reframe it in a different way. You can say, what would be a cool thing to have, or a cool thing to do, or a cool thing to be? Like, what would be cool? Almost like you're writing a fun little bucket list. Like, what thing would be cool? Well, it would be cool to have a little bit more money. Cool, boom, there's your goal. Work on that. So it doesn't have to be a goal per se. It can just be something that would be nice to have, or nice to do, or nice to be. Something that seems fun. It can almost be like a hobby. A goal could be a hobby. Oh, I think I might work on playing a little bit more tennis because that's fun. Cool, boom, that's your goal. You don't even have to call it a goal. So yeah, appreciate this guy leaving this testimonial. Like I said, if you would like coaching in any capacity, either one of these $200 calls, or you want to join our big hardcore coaching program, link is in the description below to that. I also have a link to my video course that I've just released and Cam's book on having sex, even if you're inexperienced or a virgin. I'll leave a link to both of those below. You can just pay whatever you want for those, even if that's $1. As always, ladies and gentlemen, go out there, crush those goals, and give. Focus on giving rather than getting, and it removes a lot of this weird feeling around like being creepy or doing something wrong, or like, what if I bother people? It's really hard to worry about bothering people if you have the mindset of, I'm going to go out there and give. And if they don't want me to give, that's fine. I'll move on and respect that, and I'll just talk to the next person. There's no feelings of creepiness or worry or like, what if I bother someone? Yeah, what if I bother someone by giving them a bunch of stuff? And if they don't want it, I'll go and talk to the next person. There's no bothering anymore. And guess what? Because you're an absolute legend and you stuck around to the end, you get to hear about my amazing one-on-one coaching deal that I'm offering just for a limited amount of time. Oh my God. That's right. I'm offering one-on-one coaching with me and access to my group coaching program. You get to sit down with me and do a one-on-one call every single week, as well as a group coaching call every single week. You get access to me every single day. You can send me messages. I will get in there. I will build you that amazing life that you have been dreaming of, whether that's sex, whether that's dating, money, relationships, happiness, peace, whatever it might be that you want. Let's make it happen together. And if you pay in full, you get an extra 4 weeks instead of the usual 3 months. Here is just a little bit of what some of our clients have achieved. Taylor had a threesome, tons of sex, embraced honesty with girls he's dating, embraced peace and love, and he's a coach in our program too. Laz, look at this handsome guy, and I'm not just saying that because he's bald. He more than doubled his monthly income, earning $45K a month. He had a ton of sex, embraced honesty, and did so much more. Corky had a threesome, sex with 7 women. We helped him start his own business, and he learned to love himself. And look at that cool BDSM picture. Legend. All of that and more is yours for $20,000, and we have payment plans as long as you pay $10K up front, and we can negotiate the rest of the payment plan. Link in the description below. Click that, mention that you want one-on-one coaching, and let's do something amazing together. Limited time only. This is the only time I'm going to offer this. Let's go, baby.